Hello traders, FXPIPCOLLECTOR here. Today is Thursday, March 30th, and welcome to today's live stream. Thanks for coming. I really do appreciate the support as always. So, just like normal, we are going to start off with looking at the US dollar and the DXY. We're going to do the full top-down analysis on those pairs. Then we're going to use whatever information that we learned from looking at the US dollar, and we're going to apply that to all the other US dollar pairs, including gold and silver. Then I got a list of pairs from my Patreon members that we are going to have to look at next. And we definitely want to look at the yen pairs also. So anyways, let's get started right away and let's get going. So first of all, let's start off with the DXY, and let's zoom out a little bit more because I do want to at least zoom out far enough so everybody could see why I think maybe this is an ABC correction. So first of all, I definitely see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be a wave A, it could be a wave 1. Then I see 3 waves down, could be a wave B, could be a wave 2. Then we see what I was thinking originally was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 1, which would be like a 1 of 3, and this would be like a 2 of 3, and then it would go up again for a wave 3 of 3. But looking at the shape that this thing made, the 1, 2, 3 shape, looking at the fact that it definitely is respecting these Fibonacci levels with a very impulsive move down with a break of structure, I'm starting to think a lot more that this really is the end of a correction right here, the end of a wave C, and if that really is the end of a wave C, then this will end up continuing the downtrend, probably eventually going all the way down to these lows, because that is what happens when you have the end of a correction, whether you're on the monthly time frame or whether you're on the 1 minute time frame. It doesn't really matter. When you have the end of a correction, and it really is the end of a correction, then you will have the continuation of the downtrend. So let's head down to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, I still think this is where you can start to see the series of lower lows, lower highs. Like I said, this is either going to be a wave 1 if this is the end of a wave C, or possibly a wave A. This move up right here wasn't a very big pullback, but I am starting to think that it's actually a wave 2. Now, if this was an ABC correction, there's actually a pretty big difference between a 1, 2, 3, which would look like that, and an ABC, which would actually look more like this usually. It's actually kind of a subtle difference, but there definitely is a difference. The shape that I'm seeing here looks a lot more like a 1, 2, 3 that's going to actually end up looking most likely something like that, and turning into that big pattern like I was showing on the monthly time frame. So if we keep that in mind, let's head down to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame is where I switch back to the US dollar index. Now on the daily time frame, I definitely see what looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's going to turn into a 1. This move up looks more like a trend than a correction, so it's probably either an A, B, C, D, E of wave 2, or possibly it's a motive wave correction. Either way, I am thinking this probably is the end of that correction, and this most likely is going to keep going down, probably going to take out this low, and if it really is a wave 3 like it looks like it may be, it's probably just going to keep on making lower lows and lower highs. So let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, hold on a second, so I don't know why, let me change that real quick. I want to see that on all time frames. So going down to the 4-hour time frame is where it starts to look like a downtrend. This definitely looks to me like a downtrend. We do not have any break of structure to the upside yet. Every one of these highs is a lower high. Even this high right here is definitely a lower high. I think this is going to go down, and I think it's just going to keep on making them lower lows and lower highs. So taking it down to the 1-hour time frame. So what's important to see on the 1-hour time frame is this shape: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1, 2, 3 waves up. We're definitely respecting a Fibonacci level, making a very impulsive move down, taking out structure. That right there is pretty much a picture perfect end of a correction. I do believe that it is going down, and I do not think it's over. I think it will take out these lows, and most likely, based on the longer time frames, most likely go a lot further than that. So let's keep all that in mind and let's apply the information we just learned from the US dollar DXY. We're going to take that information, we're going to apply it to all these other US dollar pairs. I use the US dollar index as like a roadmap to help me figure out what all these other US dollar pairs are doing and to help me decide which direction I should be trading in on these US dollar pairs. So let's do that. Let's head down to the euro dollar, which the euro dollar is definitely moving pretty good today. So let's head up to the daily time frame. We're going to do our daily time frame analysis down. So on the daily, I still think this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. I think this is an ABC down. Never broke any structure to the downside. It's most likely still all part of one trend. As you can see, it is going up very strong. I think it's going to break out of these highs, and I think there's a good chance this is a 1, a 2, and a wave 3 based on what I saw in the US dollar index. If it's a wave 3, then it is going to just keep on going up, making them higher highs, higher lows, telling me that I really need to just keep looking for shorts on shorter time frames. Heading down to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame is where you can actually start to see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. This move up I think is an A, B, C, a B, and I think this right here is 3 waves down for the wave C. So A, B, C, nice impulsive uptrend. I think there's a good chance that this move up right here is going to be the continuation of an uptrend. Now we are near these highs right here, so I wouldn't be surprised if it did make a pullback, but I think it'll just be a correction to this last wave. I think it will end that correction, and I do believe that it will just keep on going up from there. So yeah, Carlos, I can look at that for you. Let me write it down so I don't forget. USD, Mexican peso. Definitely not something I normally look at, but you are a member, so I definitely will check it out for you. Going down to the 1-hour time frame. So on the 1-hour time frame, this move down definitely looks more like a trend than a correction, but I think this is an ABC right here. I think that is the end of a correction, and I think this right here is an uptrend. So if that really is an uptrend, then that means that this is probably not even over. It probably will break out of these highs. Like I said, it may pull back, especially with the fact that it's up near these highs, but even if it does pull back, that doesn't change anything for me. I'm still going to be looking for longs. I'm still going to be looking to go long at the end of these 3-wave pullbacks. 3 waves down, impulsive up. 3 waves down, impulsive up, even right there. 3 waves down, impulsive up. All great entries to go long. If it does it again, then that's going to be another great entry for me to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. So let's head down to the pound dollar and let's go up to, the pound dollar is cranking up nicely. So let's go up to the daily time frame. So the pound dollar, pretty much the same story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. This one did break structure to the downside, but then instantly turned back up. That's usually a really good sign that that is going to be the end of a correction. And as you can see, it doesn't even look like it's over. I think that just like the euro dollar, this has got a long ways to go to the upside. So let's head down to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, ever since we ended this correction up here, we've been trending up. This is definitely a trend. It's higher highs or higher lows every single one of these peaks. And if you've been watching my videos lately, you've probably been making a lot of money like I have, because you see 3 waves down, impulsive up, go long. 3 waves down, go long. 3 waves down, 3 waves down, all very clear, very nice entries, all higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Doesn't really look like anything is over yet. Maybe it'll make a pullback, maybe not. I'm sure it will make a pullback eventually, and if it does, that's going to be another opportunity for me to go long at the end of the pullback for the continuation of the uptrend. So let's take it down to the 1-hour time frame. Good job, Chizzy. Awesome. So anyways, going down to the 1-hour time frame, what do we see? We see 3 waves down. We see 3 waves down. We see 3 waves down. 3 waves down. Even back here, we got some 3-wave patterns. 3 waves down. Every single one of these, very, very, very clear entries to go long. So as of now, there's definitely no entry. The entry was either right there or back here. So right now, you're either waiting for another pullback, or you're already long and you're waiting for an exit. If it does pull back again, I'm going to be going long again for the continuation of the uptrend. Definitely doesn't look like it's over to me. Aussie dollar, same thing. Aussie dollar is going up too. It's got a lot of catching up to do, but I believe that it is gonna do something very similar to what the other pairs are doing. So we have either an A, we have either an A or a 1. We got 3 waves down, either a B or a 2, and I do believe that this, just like the other ones, is just gonna keep working its way up, either for a 3 or wave C. For me, it doesn't matter whether it's a C or a 3 right now. I definitely don't need to bother myself trying to figure that out, because the trading strategy, especially when you're on a longer time frame like this, is exactly the same whether it's a wave 3 or whether it's a wave C. This trading strategy is that I'm looking for longs in an uptrend. Going down to the 4-hour time frame, I do admit that this whole thing looks very, very corrective, but looking at correlated pairs, I do believe that this will keep going up. It may start off corrective, but I bet eventually it's just going to gain a lot of momentum. A lot of people are going to be expecting this to go down again, but I do not think it's going to. I think it's going to continue to make higher lows and just keep on trending up, telling me that I need to be looking for longs at the end of ABC pullbacks. So let's head down to the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, what do we got? We got 3 waves down, we got 3 waves down, we have 3 waves down. So on the 15-minute time frame, that right there was 3 waves down. Looks like it's going up. Maybe it will make another pullback, probably right into tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, so it probably will make more pullbacks, but pullbacks are good for me because at the end of the pullbacks is where I look to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. I am not going to be looking for shorts. I'm going to be looking for longs in an uptrend. So let's keep that in mind. Let's head down to the Kiwi dollar, which the Kiwi dollar is actually quite a bit stronger than the Aussie dollar. But it's same thing, basically. We got an uptrend. We have 3 waves down, A, B, C. We have a break of structure to the upside. Usually after you have a break of structure, you'll have a pullback, and then at the end of that pullback is going to be the much safer entry to go long for the continuation, just like the Aussie, for a wave C or possibly a wave 3. Doesn't really matter whether it's a wave C or whether it's a wave 3. The trading strategy really is exactly the same whether it's a wave C or whether it's a wave 3. So let's keep going down to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, definitely looks very corrective, which actually a lot of patterns do start off very corrective, especially on the shorter time frames, but it's making higher lows, higher low, higher low, higher low. That right there turned right at the 78.6, impulsive up. I think this will continue up. I think it'll break out, probably make more pullbacks along the way, which is great for us because at the end of every single one of these pullbacks is where I will be looking to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. So let's see what's going on the 1-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame. We are looking for longs in an uptrend. As you can see, this kind of looks more like a trend than a correction, but I guess it was a correction because it did go right to a Fibonacci level and it did continue the uptrend. It hasn't broken out to the upside yet, but I do believe that it will, and I do believe that it will continue to make those higher highs and higher lows. I'm definitely looking for pullback entries for the continuation of the uptrend. So, US dollar Canadian been very strong to the downside. This has been a really good trade. And it actually seemed fairly clear. We got uptrend for the A, we got a corrective action for the B, we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of C. We got price respecting the 78% Fibonacci level, and it looks like a 1, 2, 3. I think we're in the middle of a wave 3, and it's probably got a long ways to go to continue the downtrend. I think this is going to go down to about the 100% Fibonacci extension, which you can't even see on this chart because it's so far down. If you want to see my full top-down analysis on any of these pairs, definitely check out my YouTube page. So heading down to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, this definitely looks to me like a downtrend, most likely a wave 1. This is 3 waves up right there. It is a lower low, making an irregular bottom or an irregular wave B. I think it's a wave 2. I think that's the end of a correction, and I do believe it will keep going down, making lower highs and lower lows, telling me that I am definitely looking for shorts in a downtrend. Heading down to the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, what do we have? We have lower highs the whole way down. This is definitely just one trend. No reason to think it's over yet. If it does turn up and take out structure, that may prove that this section of trend is over, but then it will probably just make another bigger correction and another continuation of the downtrend. So I'm definitely still looking for sorts. Now it needs to continue to make lower highs. If it does go up and break structure, that may change things a little bit, but I still think it's going to be a correction, just end up being a bigger correction. But if it does go down and then it goes up, makes another lower high, then I'll definitely just keep going short at the end of every single pullback. So let's check out the US dollar Swiss. That's a good one right here. This is one I entered a couple times over the past week. Definitely not the strongest, but definitely very clear because we have three waves up, A, B, C. Nice impulsive down. It did come back up very impulsively, but that's probably because of all the Swiss banking news that we've had lately. But if that is the end of a correction, then it will end up continuing the downtrend. Let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, this definitely did make three waves up right here. It just made a lower high for the wave C. The wave C made a lower high than the wave A, which I would call an irregular wave C. It's still an ABC correction, it's just an irregular one. Then impulsive down, 1, 2, 3 up, right to the 78%. Impulsive down again. It may come back up, but even if it does come up, I think it's just going to be another correction to the downtrend. So let's take a look at that on the 1-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame is where you can see the uptrend right here for the A. This move down is fairly strong, but it did make like a three-way pattern, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of C. 78% impulsive down, taking out structure, end of a correction. It looks like it's in the middle of a wave 3. 1, 2, and 3. So I don't think anything is over. It may come up a little, but I think it will end up continuing the downtrend. And the US dollar yen is actually way different because of the yen. The yen is driving this one a lot more. The yen is driving this one a lot more than the dollar is right now. But I still think it's going to still hold its pattern. I still think this is a downtrend, which I think is like an 11-wave downtrend for probably a wave 1. I think this is an ABC, most likely a wave 2. And I think this is going to be like a 1, 2. And it's probably going to bounce off a fib level and continue down for a wave 3 of 3. So let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, this definitely is a trend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like it broke structure, but I think it's a wave A. I think now we could probably get rid of this Fibonacci level here, and we can put a new Fibonacci level here. From top to bottom, this first move up is most likely an A. I think it's going to go down, make a B, and then most likely back up to make a C. I think this is probably like a 1, a 2, and it's going to eventually go down for a 3. So if you can get in at the end of this ABC correction, that's going to be a very, very profitable trade, especially if it really is a wave 3 of 3, which it definitely does look like it is. So let's head down to the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, you can see a 1, you can see 3 waves down for the 2, you can see a 3, 3 waves down for the 4, and a wave 5. It didn't quite break structure by the looks of it. It just barely missed it, but it's probably close enough to call it. I think that's a wave A right there. I think it is going to go down, probably take out this structure and make some sort of a correction to this move up. Probably a wave B. And then most likely back up for C. Probably up to like the 50, maybe the 61.8 to finish off that ABC correction. So let's check out the gold. Oh, gold is going down. Look at that. Yeah, well, so far gold is definitely up on the daily, weekly, and monthly. This definitely looks to me like a 1. This looks like an ABC of 2. This looks like a wave 3. So far, there's no break of structure to the downside. There's really nothing telling me that this is actually going down in a bigger way yet. I could picture this going down more and this being like an ABC, going down and breaking this low and then going back up, and there would be like a 1, a 2, and a wave 3 of 3. So let's keep that in mind and head down to the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, I guess that move down was just because we were on the 1 hour. That's why it looked so strong. I still think this is an ABC right here. We are definitely in a little bit of a triangle right here, as you can see. And it really hasn't broken out to the upside or the downside yet. I still think so far that the trend is up. It is making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows the whole way up. I think this is a big wave 3 of wave 5 on the much longer time frames. It may go down a little, but I still think the worst case scenario, it will go down and take out this low and then continue the uptrend. So let's head down to the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, it definitely looks like it's trying to make some sort of a corrective pattern. Like an A, B, C, D, E is what I would think it is. A, B, C, D, E. That probably is what's going on right here. A, B, C, D, E. It definitely looks like a turn. It definitely looks like it's taking out structure. It probably is going to go down and take out this low right here, and it probably is still going to be a wave C. I still think it will go up eventually, probably shortly after breaking that low, and end up continuing the uptrend. Now, let's go down just a little bit more, just so we can take a closer look. Oh, I guess it hasn't even broken structure yet. This is the structure I would be looking for it to break. Until it breaks that structure, I still see the possibility that this could just keep on drifting up. So definitely keep an eye on your structure, because that tells you a lot about the trends that you're looking at. If you're not on the correct time frame to see the structure, then you're probably not going to see what's important, which is the structure breaks that are going to tell you when something is really over or not. So let's see. Let's go check out some yen pairs. We got a lot of people in my group have requested the yen pairs, so we're going to take a look at the yen pairs today pretty closely, because they definitely have turned, I think. Now, I need to go out to the monthly time frame so everybody fully understands where I'm coming from on these yen pairs. I still believe this is an A, B, and C, and then it's going to go all the way up to about the 100% Fibonacci extension. You can look at pretty much every single one of these yen pairs and come up with the same conclusion, that it's going up to probably a decent amount. It's probably only about halfway through its trend. So we definitely have a long ways to go to the upside, I believe. Same thing with this one. It's going down now, but I still think it's going to go up and end up looking something like that. Kiwi, same thing. Well, it did break lows, but it just barely broke them. It spiked below. I bet this is going to go up also and end up looking like that. Now, I'm just going through the monthly real quick. We'll go to the shorter time frames in a minute. Now, the Canadian also had a very weak spell over the last few months, but I still think this is going to end up continuing the uptrend also. And the Swiss yen is actually quite a bit different, but I still think this one is going to end up continuing up too. Probably end up looking at least something like that. So let's see. We got the euro yen and a few other yen pairs to look at. So let's work our way down to the daily. So on the daily, I still believe this is an ABC correction. It definitely respected the 78.6. It went up. It took out structure. To me, that looks like the end of a correction. We actually have a lot of corrections here. ABC, 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 ABC. Definitely a lot of nice looking ABCs. As you'll notice, it definitely is making its way up. I think that this break of structure tells us that the correction is over, and that it is going to keep making higher highs and higher lows. So let's head down to the 4 hour time frame. On the 4 hour time frame, it looks like a 1, 2, 3 waves down like an ABC. Then it went up, it broke structure, it made a big pullback, and then it went up, it broke structure again. I think that break of structure is definitely telling us this is the end of a correction. I do believe that it probably is going to make some pullbacks, especially with all these structure levels it's breaking, which is actually really good for us, because at the end of these pullbacks is where I'll be looking for my next long opportunity. Structure break, pullback, probably retest, and then just keep on going up. So let's head down to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame, we definitely got a nice uptrend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves so far. Just because you see 5 waves doesn't necessarily mean that the trend is over. I still think this is going to go down, but I think there's a really good chance the move down is going to be a correction, and it will end up continuing back up. So even if it does go down, I'm still going to be looking for longs in an uptrend. Not sure what you mean by that. I definitely think you can see my charts pretty well. Maybe you're on your cell phone or something and that's why. So let's see, what else do we have for yen pairs to look at? We got the euro yen. Let's the Canadian yen and the Kiwi yen are the other two that were requested. The Kiwi yen, I think, is just finished a wave E. Definitely a little tricky, but it's definitely looks like a trend followed by three waves, a B, followed by a trend, followed by three waves, a D, followed by a long drawn out trend. I think it's a wave E. I think the wave E is over. It hasn't broken structure yet, but I do believe that it will break structure, and I do believe that it will end up continuing the uptrend. So I'm definitely looking for longs. I have been looking for shorts for a few weeks now, but now I'm back to looking for longs on basically all the yen pairs. Heading down to the 4-hour time frame, we are definitely getting some structure breaks here, pretty much proving that this whole section of trend from here to here is over. I think it's a wave E, and I do think that this is going to end up continuing the up. Maybe it will make a pullback soon, which hopefully, honestly, I hope it does make a pullback, because I won't be going short, but instead I'll be waiting for the end of the pullback for an entry to go long, and then if it pulls back anymore in the future, I'll just continue to go long at the end of every single pullback. And let's head down to the 1-hour time frame. Now, the 1-hour time frame, pretty much all the yen pairs have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shape, which is another reason why I think that we probably are due for a correction. But like I said, I'm personally not going to be going short on any yen pairs, but instead I'm going to be waiting for the correction to be over to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. So I'm definitely going to be looking for longs on the Kiwi yen. Let's cross that one out. Let's look at the Canadian yen. Attack it back up. Most of these have all got pretty much the same pattern. This one's definitely a little bit different. This is a trend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's like a perfect trend right there. It has not taken out the high of wave 4 yet. No problem, Mark. So it hasn't taken out the high of wave 4 yet, but I do believe there's a very good likelihood that it will take out the high. And it's either going to do one of two things now. It's either going to go up and make an A, B, C to this whole move down, like that, or possibly it's just going to be a complete trend reversal, which looking at other pairs, other yen pairs, I think this is more likely to be a complete trend reversal, and most likely just keep on going up with those higher highs, higher lows. Yeah, 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, it's definitely looking like a trend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is why another reason why I think that it's probably going to pull back soon, especially with all these structure breaks that it made. And if it does pull back, that's actually very good for us, because at the end of that pullback is where I'll be going long for the continuation of the uptrend. And the 1-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame, it definitely looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it goes down and takes out structure, then we'll know that this whole section of trend is over. If we know that whole section of trend is over, then it will probably make a correction someplace between 38 and 78% of this move up, which is definitely a pretty good sized correction. And probably make some sort of a three-way pattern down, A, B, C, and at the end, take out structure, end the correction, and just end up continuing the uptrend. So that's pretty much what I think about all the yen pairs. The yen pairs are extremely correlated right now, because the yen pairs are driving all the yen pairs are getting driven by the yen, not the other currency. So they're all very, very correlated right now. So before we move on to some more requests, what I want to do is I want to put the link to my free Discord in the chats. It's 100% free to join. No obligations to pay a dime if you do not want to. The link is in the chats and in the description. And also, I do offer extra help for anybody looking for extra help with their trading. I do have a course that I'm going to be releasing within the next couple weeks. And I do offer weekly Zoom meetings where I teach my strategy, and a private chat and members forecast area. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, definitely check out that link and contact me on Discord if you have any questions. So let's go back to the dollar pairs for just a minute here, because I forgot to look at one of these dollar pairs. Forgot to look at one of these dollar pairs for one of my members. So the US dollar Mexican peso was requested by one of my members, which, like I said, is definitely a pair that I would normally not be looking at, but they requested it, so I do look at. That is part of the benefits of being a Patreon member. Is if you request me to look at something, I will look at it. I don't really do stock market too much. I will look at indexes, but the stock market itself, like Amazon and stuff like that, I don't really do that. This definitely looks like either an A, B, C or a 1, 2, 3. Either way, I guess it doesn't really matter too much at now, except for we are approaching the 50%. If it is a wave C, it will probably do that. If it's not a wave C and it's a wave 3, then it probably will still bounce off that level, but instead of taking out structure, it'll just keep making lower lows, lower highs. And looking at the US dollar and up here, the US dollar index, it's probably going to end up being a 1, 2, 3. I bet it'll just keep on going down like that. So let's head down to the shorter time frames, like the daily. So we definitely had the end of a correction right there. There's no doubt about that. We have 3 waves up, go short. 3 waves up, short. 3 waves up, and this right here is even 3 waves up. So definitely looking pretty good. That right there is definitely the end of a correction. I don't think it's over yet either. I bet it's going to keep on going, making them lower lows. Let's head down to the 4-hour. Let's get rid of this. Definitely a little bit of a tricky pattern if you don't, if you're not familiar with ABC corrections, but I am very familiar with it, and I've seen this pattern many times. It kind of looks like a trend, but it's not. It's like one wave, a 3-wave pullback, and then another trend that goes back up to pretty much the same high, and then it turns down because it's the end of a correction. So I think that's what we have here, and it looks like a 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, and 3. It's probably going to have to make a wave 4, and probably going to have to make a wave 5. And I don't think the trend is over. I wouldn't be surprised if it just kept on going down based on the longer time frames. Definitely no reason to think it's over yet. We do have a break of structure, I guess, so that could prove that this section right here is over. So maybe the wave 3 is over. 1, 2, 3. Now what we need to do is put our Fibonacci retracement measure in the wave 3 from top to bottom, and a wave 4 would come next, and a wave 4 usually will go to either the 38 or possibly the 23. So this is probably going to end up looking something like that for a wave 4, and then most likely go down again for a wave 5, just to finish off this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this wave 5 just stretched out and just kept on going, because we are in a big downtrend on the much longer time frames. So let's keep moving on. We got a couple more Forex pairs to look at, so we'll do that now. Let's look at the Euro Kiwi and the Kiwi Canadian. So we'll look at the Kiwi pairs. Euro Kiwi, I think, is in a wave 3, right? Ooh. Definitely, yeah, I think it's in a wave 3. You can tell I don't really look at this chart very often. I pretty much personally, I only trade the yen pairs and the dollar pairs. So a lot of these other ones, I don't really actually look at them very often. But as you can see, it's definitely continuing up like it should. We definitely have a nice trend right here. I think this is a 1. This is 3 waves down. I think that's a 2. I think we're in a big wave 3, and I don't really expect it to be over. It may go down, it may make some pullbacks, but I think every pullback will make a higher low, and it'll just keep on trending up, making those higher lows the whole way up. All part of a big wave 3. So let's go down to a little bit shorter time frame, see if we see that it's close to over. Yeah, it probably is close to over. 1, 2, 3 waves down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. It really hasn't given us any proof that it's over, but it definitely looks like it's getting ready to go down, probably to make another correction, probably another ABC. Just like I said, it's probably going to make a higher low, and just keep on going up. Definitely no reason to think this is over yet. A lot of pretty decent looking corrections. 3 waves down, 3 waves down, 3 waves down. This one's a little tricky, but it's definitely kind of a 3-wave pattern. Little 3 waves there, little 3 waves there. 3 waves right there. So if it goes down, makes another 3 waves down, makes another impulsive move up, it's going to be another entry to go long. And the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame, I would have to see a structure break to the downside to really know this is over. Until I actually see that structure break, there's a possibility this could just keep on stretching out. Definitely no, just because we see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 does not mean that this is over yet. I've seen trends turn, especially on some of these other more exotic pairs. I've seen 11, 13, 15, 18 wave trends, 19 wave trends. So definitely no reason to think it's over until it breaks structure. I prefer to let the market tell me when this move up is over, not assume that it's over until the market tells me that it's over. So right now, really the strategy would be either be long from one of these pullbacks or waiting for an exit. Just based on the 5-wave structure, there probably is a good chance that it is going to go down and make a pretty good size ABC correction. But we don't really know for sure that this is going to happen. Just because we see 5 ways, we can assume that this is going to happen. But what happens when you start assuming stuff when it comes to the market is if we assume this is going to go down and do that, that's when this thing is just going to take off to the upside. That's why I always let the market tell me what's going to happen by seeing structure breaks. So yeah, we can definitely look at natural gas. Hendrix is, we're already going to look at oil, and Hendrix is a member of mine, and I always make sure I make time for my members. I try to keep these meetings down to about an hour because I do put out a lot of videos every day, so I definitely put a lot of work into this YouTube channel. So let's cross that one out. Let's look at the New Zealand Canadian. Yeah, wow, that one made a big push down too. Ooh, yeah, big time. So I was thinking this could be an ABC correction. I was thinking it could be the end of a 2. So far, it hasn't invalidated that idea, and it really looks like it's in a correction now, so I still think there's a good chance this is a wave 3 and that it will continue up, probably like a 1, 2 of 3, and then go up for a wave 3 of 3. Let's get down to the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, that does look to me like a correction. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like an A, B, and this is probably a wave C. Unfortunately, there's no clear structure at the close right now. Maybe on the 1 hour there is to prove that this is over. But if it goes up and breaks structure and then makes a pullback, at the end of that pullback would actually be the much safer entry to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. So let's head down to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame is where you can start to see the lower lows, lower highs. I think that's an A. This probably is a wave B right here. There's definitely no reason to think this is over yet. So even though we may assume that it's a correction, we really need to still be looking for shorts in a downtrend. So really what I would be doing, even though it kind of looks like it's getting ready to end, I would definitely have my Fibonacci right here. I would definitely be waiting for 3 waves up. It already looks like it's getting ready to bounce off a fib level, so 3 waves up, impulsive down is probably going to be my next entry to go short. There's definitely no reason to think on the longer time frames that this move down is over. I'm not really looking to identify the exact bottom or the exact top. I'm looking to trade with the trend. Right now, the higher time frame tells me that the trend is down. So until this actually goes up and takes out some structure like that, the trend is definitely still down. So if this goes up to a fib level, makes an impulsive move down and then closes, like the 1 hour candle closes with a big engulfing candle down like that at a fib level, that's going to be an entry to go short for me for the continuation of the downtrend. So just because we see something on the longer time frames that looks like, on the, like let's say we see on the 4 hour time frame, that it looks like this is almost over, Like, it looks like this is an ABC correction, and it looks like it's almost over. Instead of just going long and seeing this, what we need to do and trying to identify the exact bottom of this correction, what we should actually do is go down to the 1 hour time frame until the market actually proves that the correction is over by taking out some structure to the upside. I would just continue to look for Fibonacci levels, look for 3 ways up, look for impulsive down, for entries to go short. So let's see here. We got natural gas. We got not natural gas, but the New Zealand Kiwi Canadian, that is. Let's go check out oil and natural gas. What's going on with oil? So one of my Patreon members, Dicer Grail, wanted me to take a look at oil and see if maybe this is possibly going to make a bigger move to the downside. Now, I definitely see what she means already. And so the whole thing is just like kind of like what I was showing on the New Zealand CAD. We can look at this and say this looks that's not very clean. We can look at this and say it looks like at the end of a trend. It looks like it's the end of a wave A, and it looks like it's now going to go up and make a B. But there's absolutely zero proof that this is what it's doing yet, because we don't have any structure breaks. It's telling me that the trend is still 100% down. I am a trend trader. I'm not somebody that's going to take reversal trades. So until the market actually tells me that this is over by taking out some major structure, the trend is definitely still 100% down. So we have impulsive down, we have a move up right here. I got my Fibonacci on here. This is kind of 3 waves up right here, so if it does turn down, that is definitely going to be an opportunity to go short for me. The trend is definitely down on the weekly and the monthly. So on the shorter time frames, let's go even shorter to the 4 hour. On the we want to see that Fibonacci on these shorter time frames though. So let's do that, fix that so we can see that. So what that means is when I see a counter trend move, I always say that it's either a wave A or a wave 1, because I don't try to force my label onto the market. And then I'll say that this is either a wave B or a wave 2, because it doesn't matter if it's an A or a 1, it doesn't matter if it's a 2 or a B. It only matters when we get towards the end of what could possibly be a wave C, whether it's a wave C or a wave 3. If it's a wave 3, it will not take out any lows. This is the most recent low. If this is a wave 3, it will not take that wave out, and it'll just keep going up like that. If it's a wave C, then it will 100% take that low out, proving that it's a wave C, turning at the 50% Fibonacci level, 3 waves up, A, B, C. I could for sure see that going down, and if that is the correction, then this will go down, and it will take out that low. So let's go to the 1 hour time frame, take a closer look at this. And I definitely see exactly what she's talking about, because I actually think this might be a short. I would almost take that right there as a sorting opportunity, because I see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember how I just said that trends can have a lot more than 7 waves? That's 7 waves. That's a wave A probably. It still could be a wave 1, but I think it probably is going to be a wave A. 3 waves down. It could be a wave 2, but I think it's going to be a wave B. Then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. It could be a wave C or it could be a wave 3. I will let the market tell me whether it's a wave C or a wave 3. If it's a wave 3, then it will not take out this low, and this will make a higher low than this, and it will just continue the uptrend. If it's a wave C, then it will take out this low, it will break structure, it will prove that this whole uptrend right here is over. If we know that uptrend is over, then we pretty much can guarantee it's a wave C, and that would be the end of a correction, probably a 1, 2, and a wave 3, and probably would just go down and take out these lows. So yeah, I definitely see the possibility of that going down. I'm definitely going to be watching my structure, but if you look at this on the 15-minute time frame, what do you see? I see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wave downtrend, probably a 1. I see 3 waves up, probably a 2. I see an impulsive move down and a break of structure. Even though it's starting to pull back, there's probably a really good chance this is going to go down, break structure, and just keep on trending down. So yeah, definitely, that's actually a perfect call right there. Dicer Grail, that was awesome. Let me check Discord to see what's going on here. Yeah, we're going to look at Bitcoin for Lou. So let me BTC. And we're going to check out the US 30 for Mr. Wolf. And that is why I normally don't take requests from just normal people in the chats, because I have a lot of requests coming in from my members, the paying members, and that's part of the benefit of being a Patreon member, is that you get for me to look at whatever you want me to look at during these live streams. So if anybody is interested in joining, this is the link to join. Or if you're a YouTube member, like Henrich is a YouTube member, then part of the benefit for that is getting things looked at during live streams also. So yeah, natural gas. Ooh, yeah, that thing made a new. It looks like it's about to make a new low. And I still think this thing is very, very clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1. A, B, C, wave 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3. We're still in a wave 3 right now. There's definitely no reason to think the wave 3 is over. It could go further. It could take out this low. Eventually, it will make a bigger correction for the wave 4, probably about the size as this wave 2, and then make a wave 5, and this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But, just like I was saying, I'll let the market tell me when that's happening by seeing a structure break, probably around the 4-hour time frame, because the 4-hour time frame is where I see the structure. But really, to me, it looks like a 1, 2. This is definitely no structure break in there, so that's still all wave 3. If it does break structure, it'll probably be a 4, and then it'll probably go down, make a 5. Then if it goes up and takes out structure, that's going to be the end of a wave 3 on the daily. Then it's going to go up and take out this high, make a pretty good sized move to the upside for an ABC of 4. 3 waves up, ABC of 4 would be next. And then eventually go down and make a wave 5, just like I was showing on the daily. 1-hour time frame, one thing you need to notice is every single one of these highs is a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and lower high. Definitely all one trend, definitely all a wave, probably a wave 3 of wave 5. So we need to see a structure break to know that the wave 3 is over, and then it'll probably make a wave 4, and then it'll probably go down and make a wave 5. Then that once the wave 5 is over, it's going to be only the end of a wave 3 on the daily. If you understand how trends subdivide into trends within trends within trends, then you know exactly what I mean by saying that this wave 5 will only be the end of a wave 3. If you don't know what I mean by that, then definitely check out my Patreon page, because that's the type of stuff that I teach my Patreon members. So we got oil and we got natural gas. So natural gas, as of now, I'm definitely only looking for shorts, because this very easily could just keep on going down. So if it does go up, make 3 waves up, then I'll go short again. And as long as it keeps making lower highs, then I'm just going to keep going short at the end of every single pullback. No reason to think that this is over yet. Let's go check out Bitcoin, see what's up with Bitcoin. I've been wondering if this was going to end a wave 5. There still isn't really any proof of it yet. So yeah, I definitely on Bitcoin, let's zoom out far enough so I don't have to go to the weekly. It definitely looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It looks like a complete trend, and it looks like it definitely broke structure, which does tell us this whole trend is most likely over. Now, we're only at the 23.6, so I wouldn't be surprised if this did stretch out and turn into a much bigger correction like that. It could even end up being an A and a B, and then eventually go down for a C. But we are at a fib level. We do have 3 waves up right now. So if this turns down and takes out structure, then I'll let the market tell me that it's a wave C, and then I'll just go short for the continuation of the downtrend. I still think the $10,000 to $12,000 area is the most likely area for this to go to. So I wouldn't be surprised if it did end up potentially a wave C. So like I was just showing on the longer time frames, this is either a 1 or a 2 and a 3, or this is an A, a B, and a C. Really, normally it doesn't matter whether it's a wave 3 or a wave C until you get to the point of the trend where we're pretty much at now. Because if this is a wave C, then this means this is probably a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it is a wave C, then it goes down, takes out structure. That will prove to me that it is a wave C and that it's going down probably at least to the $10,000 area. But until it actually takes out the low of wave 4, we have really no way of knowing whether or not this trend is over that started right here. And if this trend is a wave 3, like I was showing on the longer time frames, then it may go down. It may break some of this structure from this move up, but it's not. If it doesn't break that wave 4 structure, then it's all still a wave 3, and it still could go up a lot more, like I was showing on the daily time frame. So now it's either going to make a crescent to this last move up and then continue up, all part of a big wave 3, or it's going to go down, take out the low of wave 4, proving that it is a wave C, and then it's going to continue the downtrend. As usual, if we pay attention to structure, then we should be able to tell what's going to happen next pretty easily. Going down to the 1 hour time frame. Even on the 1 hour time frame, we don't have any proof that anything is over. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 waves up so far. This right here looks like a crescent. If it doesn't take out that low and it turns up, that could just keep going up like that. So if it does go down and take out this low, then it's probably just going to end up doing something like this, like I was just showing on the 4 hour, and then go up. If that's the case, then that would be a big wave 3 on the daily. Or if it does this, like I said, we do have a few possibilities, but that's pretty normal. If it does that, that will tell us that's the end of a wave C, and then at the next pullback we can take a much safer entry to go short for the continuation of the downtrend. So definitely a few options, which is actually very, very normal. There's often many options to the market. And like usual, if we just go with the flow, we just go with our longer time frames, go with the flow, and pay attention to our structure, then we usually can get a pretty good idea of what's really going to happen next. So let's go check out a couple stocks. Let's check out the US 30 and the US S&P, which I think is going up, yeah. I think we're still in that wave B. Originally, a couple like last couple weeks, I was thinking the wave B was over and we were just going to keep going down. But looking at the US dollar index, which is very correlated with this, and looking at this, I think that's a crescent. I think we're going back up, and this is going to be all part of a wave B, which you really can't see it on this time frame. You have to be on like the weekly, because that's where the clarity is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave A, 3 waves down for the B, and then up for the C. Probably take out the high of wave 4. Then I think it's going down to about the $3,100 area to finish a C before we go back into a bull market. So let's see, is the S&P, is the US 30, which is the one you requested, the same? Yeah, it pretty much is the same. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. I think that's a wave A. We have an uptrend. I think that's an A also. We have 3 waves down. That looks very clear to be a wave B. I think it's going to go up at least to this high and make a C of B. Then it's going to go down probably around the 61.8. Probably someplace between the $25,000 and $26,000 area to finish a wave C. Then I think it'll break structure and go back into a bull market. Probably about the time that the next presidential election comes around, I would have to guess. So going down to the daily, looks like a nice uptrend. Like I said, most likely an A. I definitely see 3 waves down. A, 3 waves up. B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave C. I think there's a very good chance this is over and it's going up to make that pattern I was showing on the weekly. Wave C of wave B. 4 hour time frame. So 4 hour time frame, I think that we should be looking for longs right now. I think I would be looking for longs at the end of pullbacks for the continuation of the uptrend. I think we're going up for a big wave C of B, telling me that I definitely want to continue to look for longs in an uptrend. Yeah, we don't even have any structure break yet. Even on the 1 hour we don't have any structure break. So what I would be doing now is I would put my Fibonacci on this level, and I would be looking for 3 waves down, just like this. 3 waves down, 3 waves down. We have not really any good ones back there. But here we got 3 waves up, 3 waves up in a downtrend. So 3 waves down to a fib level is exactly what I want to see. which really it could be any one of those fib levels, for my next entry to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. So I'm definitely looking for longs. I think it will continue the uptrend. Don't really see any reason to think otherwise. Let me check Discord again, see if there's any more requests. Yeah, K99. We can check out gold again. I always try to begin these live streams and end these live streams looking at gold. I'm not looking at gold, but looking at the US dollar pairs, that is. Because, at least for me personally, the US dollar pairs are definitely my primary focus. And the yen pairs are my close second. Like I said, I pretty much only trade the yen pairs and the dollar pairs. Sometimes I will trade gold also, which is a dollar pair anyways, but yeah, really no reason to think the euro's over. Pound, really, yeah, until it takes out this low, the trend is up. It could keep going up. If it takes out that low, the trend is probably over, but until that happens, the trend is definitely up. Yeah, Aussie, it did make a pullback, but I bet there's a good chance it will just keep going up. Maybe it'll make something like this first and then go up. That doesn't really change anything for me. I would definitely still be looking for longs. Kiwi's still going up. Last structure's right here, so unless it goes down and takes that out, the trend is definitely up. And it very easily could just keep going up like that, making higher lows. US dollar Canadian, our last structure's right there. Even if it does take that structure out, it's probably just going to be another correction and another continuation of the downtrend. US dollar Swiss, I think, is definitely in a wave 3. We got a 1, 2, 3. No reason to think that even the 3's over. It very easily could just keep drifting down. US dollar yen is still going up because of the yen, not because of the dollar, but I think this is going to turn down also, probably. And I think it's probably going to give us another opportunity to go long at the end of the pullback. And like I said, this is a yen-driven move, not a dollar-driven move. And gold, oh yeah, gold is going up too. What you really need to understand is that gold ended a correction on the monthly, and monthly ends of corrections on the monthly time frame do not happen very often. This is an end of a correction right here, and this is the end of a correction right here. That's pretty much the only two ends of corrections I see on this whole chart. We had one in 2018, and we had one in November 2020. And all the way back to 2010, there really wasn't any other corrections on this time frame. So in the past 12, 13 years, there's only been two ends of corrections on the monthly time frame for gold. So when you have the end of a correction on the monthly, that's definitely something you need to pay attention to. And I think this thing is going up in a big way for wave 5 and maybe even a lot further. Going down to the daily is where you can see the 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. I think there's a good chance, like I said earlier, that there's a good chance this could just keep going up. Like I've been saying, I could definitely picture it going down and taking out this structure, but even if it does, I think it's more likely to just keep going up afterwards, and it would probably just end up being like a 1, 2, and then 3 of wave 3, 3 of wave 5, that is, or 3 of 5 is actually what it would be, because this is a wave 3. And if it goes down and makes a 1, 2, and then 3, then it's going to be a 3 of wave 3, and then on the monthly time frame, it's all of wave 5, so it's a 3 of 3 of 5. If that makes sense. Like I said, if it doesn't, then definitely check out my Patreon page, because that's the type of stuff that I teach. And yeah, I don't think it's going down. When we started this meeting, it was an impulsive move down. And I said that there is a possibility that it goes down again, but I think the trend is over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A. B. This looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of C. We have a structure break. I think it's going to just keep going up, making higher highs and higher lows. 1 hour time frame. And what's this shape right here? Is that a shape that people recognize? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 waves up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that a shape that anybody maybe recognizes? right to a Fibonacci level, impulsive move up. It did make a double top right here, but that's probably just because there was so many pending orders sitting right there. It's gonna end another correction and just keep on going up. When you have the end of a correction, if it really is the end of a correction, then it will keep going up. Really, it's like a 15-minute correction, because that's where you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wave downtrend for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wave downtrend for that. Impulsive up, taking out structure, end of a correction. Yeah, on the 5-minute time frame, I think we got another end of a correction. A, B, C down, break of structure. That right there is another end of a correction. I think this is headed up for sure. So, like I said, if anybody is interested in learning more about how I analyze the market, how I trade, then definitely check out my Patreon page. That's where you can find out all the information about that. Or if you are interested in just joining my Discord, it's 100% free to join, no obligations to pay a penny if you do not want to. You can stay a free member of my Discord as long as you want. I don't really care if you join my Patreon or not. I mean, obviously I do appreciate the support, but you can definitely stay a free member as long as you want, no obligation to join if you do not want to. But as a paying member, especially if you do become a gold member, you do get a lot of benefits. One of the major benefits you get is the Zoom meetings, which these are all the Zoom meetings right here, and you get all my members forecast area. These are all the pairs that I forecast every single day, and you get access to the private chats, which is where I'm much more active. Crypto chats, educational information, mentorship, Zoom meetings, and sometimes we even during the news I'll get on and we'll talk, especially if there's a big news event, we'll get on here and we'll talk about the news as it's happening. I do a lot for my Patreon members, so if you are interested, definitely check that out. The link is in the chat and in the description. So, as usual, definitely like and subscribe to my channel. It's a big help to push my channel out to new people. And definitely come back and check out my daily forecast videos that I do every weekday. And until next Tuesday, which is my next my next live stream is on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. My Zoom meeting is on Monday for my gold members. So until then, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. And as usual, happy trading.